There are many people, like Robert Kiyosaki, who call themselves financial gurus. Those people tell us to live completely without debt. Some of them even say it's worth getting rid of credit cards. It's some good advice for a particular type of people, says Robert. He thinks that you should definitely get rid of your credit cards if you can't control your expenses. But Robert himself doesn't imagine how people live without credit cards. He doesn't know how to give up hotels, renting cars, or having dinner at a restaurant. However, if you're a shopping addict, the entrepreneur continues to insist that you must get rid of your credit cards. So, Robert said there is good and bad debt. If you have bad debt, for example, a student loan, it's classified as bad debt. The main reason why it's so bad is that it's the worst debt possible. Kiyosaki gives a simple explanation for this. As a businessman with debt, he simply can declare bankruptcy and be free. But the problem with student loans is that you cannot do the same. You'll be settled with debt for the rest of your life. Therefore, if you're a student, you shouldn't take out a student loan until you're 100% sure that you can graduate, says Robert. He's convinced that many of us know examples of people who just drop out. The problem with a student loan is that a person must know what he's gonna study until the end. Robert has two friends. They are both doctors. These guys graduated from the university with a loan of $500,000, but they paid it off in 5 years because of high-paying jobs. Before starting a family and settling down, their main goal was to pay off the student loans, which made them doctors. The writer has no doubt that each of us has examples of people who simply don't know what they want to do. Once Robert already told us that when he was 18, his classmates earned about $120,000 a year. It's not a lot today, but for his generation, it was an excellent result. Even if a person at that time earned $20,000 a year, it was still good money. Robert's initial salary was $47,000, while his classmates would make 3 times as much. Robert emphasizes that this is a matter of choice that we all make. He simply didn't want to do what they did. Kiyosaki would have to join a union, but he didn't want to be a member of this organization. Therefore, Robert joined Standard Oil of California, where he worked as a delivery officer, and he didn't have to become a union member. The difference was that the entrepreneur earned only $47,000 a year. Well, there's always the price to pay. Robert went on. When you're younger, it's hard to tell the difference. When he was 22, he didn't care whether they paid him $100,000 a year or less. His principle was not to join the union. It was kind of youthful enthusiasm. Today, according to Kiyosaki, everything is more complicated anyway, because we don't know what kind of job is highly paid. These days, even lawyers have tough times, says Robert, because there is market saturation with this profession. Nowadays, there's artificial intelligence that replaces many high-end jobs. Today, they don't need an accountant because artificial intelligence can do most of the work. So this is what Robert thinks. Before getting your first debt, a student loan, our generation has to consider whether we are gonna finish the studies we started. After that, Robert came to the main topic, good and bad debt. He drew a diagram where he showed income, expenses, assets, and liabilities. Say you want to buy a house. You think, my home is an asset. But it's not true, says Robert. Your home is a liability. It doesn't matter if you have debts or not. The house is your liability. Same thing if you have a car. The car is a liability. Robert went on to say that there are 6 words fundamental to financial education. These are income, expenses, assets, liabilities, coupled with cash flow. The average person has a job. The money that you earn at work goes to liabilities. As we pay for the house, the money goes to the bank through a mortgage. The bottom line is that money is not an asset because it flows out. It's a liability. It takes money out of your pocket. Assets, on the other hand, put money into your pocket. Therefore, if you have real estate for rent as an asset, it will make money. If you live in a house, it's a liability, because even if you don't have mortgage arrears, you still have to pay taxes, pay for amortization, repairs, maintenance, and insurance. Good debt is when a person borrows something that turns into an asset that will generate income. For example, you have a car and someone rents it to work in Uber. It also generates income. A vehicle can be an asset. Robert and his wife have a boat. Most of the boats are unprofitable, he says, but this boat brings income. People regularly rent it. The main two words you should remember from this lesson are cash flow. Student loans, houses, boats, all this has to do with these two words, cash flow. If money goes into your pocket, it's an asset, it's good debt. But if money goes out of your pocket, it's bad debt. If you are a successful employee or entrepreneur, you must control the cash flow direction, says Robert. Many people have jobs, but their money flows out and goes to the state through taxes. Robert didn't forget to mention his friend Donald Trump, because both he and Trump don't pay taxes legally. It's one of the main reasons Kiyosaki and Trump are entrepreneurs, not employees. Those pay taxes, entrepreneurs do not. It's also one of the asset types. At the end of his lecture, Robert sums up that you should not be afraid of debt. If you know how to use it properly, go for it. Can credit cards be a good debt? It all depends on how you're gonna use your money. If you intend to use it for something that generates income as an asset, then it's good debt. But if you spend it on, say, a Versace jacket, this won't be good debt. So good debt puts money into your pocket. Bad debt generates expenses. That's all we have. Thanks for your time.